to the Music 101 with your host, Alexxis Steele. Sponsored by Steele Notes Magazine. You can find them at the web, folks, at www.steelnotesmagazine.com.
Good evening, everyone. This is Alexxis Steele from Music 101. I have with me tonight as my co-host, the one and only Spencer Drate, iconic album cover designer. And with us, we have the one and only amazing Royal Marquis, Mr. Michael DeBar. How you doing, Michael?
God, I'm so happy there's not two of us. You know? The one and only, the two and only, the schizophrenic Michael DeBar. Yes, it's a pleasure to be with you both.
Oh, glad.
Thank you. I'm glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah,
Well, I've always loved threesomes, you know. So it all makes sense in the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, Michael, you are quite the accomplished man, I must say. Your whole career has just been amazing. I mean, from the time you were a child. So we're going to give everybody a little taste of everything. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So,
you know.
as many of you have guessed by Michael's accent, Michael's from England. And he started out as a child in the entertainment industry. Tell us a little bit about that, Michael.
Well, I went to drama school. You know, what happened was I was in these boarding schools in England, which I despised. It was just more dirty boys playing soccer. And I wanted to be Nijinsky. You know, I wanted to be a ballet dancing rock star weighing 92 pounds. You know, I didn't want to fall into that whole British institution. With my father, you know, being a Marquis, he happened to be in jail at the time, of course. And my mother was in an asylum for schizophrenics. So I didn't have a parental vibe. I only say that because it's very important to my story, because I had to really do it myself, literally. And after I left school at 16, I went to drama school. I got a scholarship to drama school. Within a few weeks, I was in the movie To Sir with Love with Sidney Poitier in 1966. That created a tsunami of, you know, extraordinary experiences. Sidney Poitier being the most humble and the biggest star in the world. A black actor was the biggest star in the world. And as a result, we had the freedom to go to all the nightclubs in London and watch the Yardbirds and watch all of the Stones. And, you know, in the very sort of when they were beginning to just blossom into this incredible cultural shock. And I thought, wow, this is great. Meanwhile, I'm doing, you know, playing Bad Kids on the BBC. And, you know, the music just suddenly became so important to me. I did a musical in London, a nude musical called The Dirtiest Show in Town. And Andrew Lloyd Webber came to see it one night, and I was singing away in this musical. And Andrew comes back to the stage, the dressing room. I'm like 18, 19. And he comes in, so was he, by the way, and he was in the middle of Jesus Christ Superstar, which he asked me to do demos for. And I sang the Judas stuff. And he said, you know, you should be a rock and roll star. You've got hair all down to your shoulders, and you're androgynous, and you can sing your ass off. And he got me a record deal. And then we went and, you know, interviewed all these young'uns. And it started, Silverhead started, and it's as simple as that. I mean, in between all of that, I was on BBC television killing people and being nasty, which has stayed with me all my life. It's the cheekbones.
Well,
cheekbones.
Well, when you were a child, I guess in England, you were on commercials, right? That commercial.
The first thing I ever did was when I was like 11 or 12, and I did this thing. There was a candy called the Nux Bar Kid, Nux Day Bar Kid, and I got the job, and I thought, oh, this is good, you know. And that's where it all started, you know. I was on this commercial, which was huge, and it was so weird driving on the freeways, you know, in the back of the car, of course, and watching myself and these big billboards. I thought, yeah, okay. Oh, yes, like this. This is good. And it just went from there, you know. It just grew and grew.
Exactly.
Wow.
So when you played in To Sir with Love, which I did see that movie, but now I have to go back and rewatch it just so I could see you in it.
Yeah.
That was your first US acting job?
Well, it wasn't US. It was done in London.
Oh, it
Sydney
was done in London. Okay.
Pinewood Studios in London. It was about an English classroom. It's one of the great movies of the 60s, and certainly the biggest selling movie at that time. Sydney was huge, you know, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, etc. All of these movies he did in a row. It was phenomenal, to answer your question, because we were in the big leagues. This was a major Columbia movie.
Oh, absolutely.
The director and the producers came to my drama school and auditioned us, and he chose 3 students, and I just happened to be one of them. I'm the one in Bangs, darling, if you watch the movie tonight.
I saw the pictures. I did see the pictures, so I know who wasn't it? And I was thinking that you were a man after my own heart because you were wearing sunglasses.
Of course, shades throughout the entire thing. I still do. You know, I just wish I had those sunglasses now. They'd be worth a fortune. But I don't have them. Somebody nicked them in the dressing room and they went out.
Oh.
But it was so interesting to see Sidney Poitier work. The humility and the courage and the carriage of this man was just sensual and beautiful. We learned so much from him. And Sean Connery was next door doing James Bond, and they became very friendly. So we were seeing Sean Connery and Sidney Poitier chatting around. And one scene, Sidney's, talking to the kids in the classroom, and the guy goes action, and in comes Sean Connery and does Sidney's dialogue, and just everybody, fell over. It was so, here's James Bond teaching us instead of Sidney. They were always playing games like that together. They were just big movie stars, could do anything they wanted.
Oh, wow. So then you talked about Andrew Lloyd Webber when he urged you to form their glam rock band, which you did, Silverhead, and you were signed to Deep Purple's records, right? Yeah, because Ian Gillan was singing Judas as well. And that's how Andrew knew the record company, Ian Gillan being the vocalist with Deep Purple. So we ended up with Deep Purple, and we got the band together in a few weeks, made a record in like 20 minutes, and went to the States, opening for Deep Purple.
Wow.
Right.
It was all very fast. In those days, you didn't have to wait 8 months for the vinyl to cool down. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. So after, so was it 2 tours and 2 albums? That's when the band broke up and you moved to LA? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I fell in love with Miss Pamela, the queen of the groupies. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a funny thing because I did an interview also with Miss Pamela. Good for you. Previously. Yes, I did. Yes. She's the greatest, absolutely exquisite woman. All 3 of my wives are great, but Miss Pamela was spectacular, who was very, very friendly with my current wife, Britta, who I adore. Oh. And they're all good friends, which is an amazing thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a very cool thing. I believe in the positivity of life. That's what I talk about on the radio every day, Little Steven's Underground Garage, Sirius XM, Channel 21, every day. Right, and I see your posts too on Facebook, but you always have that. You always are saying positive things. Yeah, because we live in an era that is so frightening and so difficult for everyone that I'm not going to espouse cynicism or anything other than positive vibes because we need it so badly. Absolutely. And talking about struggles, I know that you had your own struggles with drugs and alcohol, and that you wound up co-founding the RAD, Rock Against Drugs. I did do that, yeah. It's,
in those days, in the early 70s, everybody was addicted.
Right.
Actually, let me say that again. At the very beginning, it was fun. And then a few years into it, one didn't think it was fun anymore. It was desperate. You desperately needed it. And for me to need something is very, very bad. Addiction sucks, you know. And so with a wonderful, you know, I was with Zeppelin on their label, right? At Swan
Right,
Song,
Swan
with a
Song.
band called Detective. And we was, and it was terrible. We were just, you know, lunatics. We were going to have Jimmy produce, and he had his own issues. Robert's son died. It was all very dark. And so in '81, Danny Goldberg, my dear friend Danny Goldberg, and I'm sure Spencer knows,
Yeah.
you know, got me into AA, and I, you know, stopped overnight. I stopped doing that crap, you know, and I thought, well, what can we do? Let's do rock against drugs, you know? And it was good. We got Ozzy. He actually arrived stoned, but there you go. And,
Hey, let me, can I cut in here? I want to bring up, we were discussing Detective. Your album was reissued for Record Store Day, Michael, on Org Records. Tell us about that reissue.
Well, Jimmy gave us the masters back just out of love and friendship. And, you know, it suddenly took off, and the Org Records put it out, and it's coming out on CD on the 12th of this month.
Great.
The extraordinary thing is next Record Store Day, they're putting out the next album. It Takes One to Know One. They were all good records, but I was, you know, not on this planet, you know, and I could sing my ass off, but that was sort of conned by rote, as Shakespeare put it. You know, I could just stand in front of that microphone and sing. But it was difficult years for all of us, for the Led Zeppelin camp, for Detective, and for Swan Song Records. It was very, very difficult.
Right. So now moving forward, in 1982, that's when you formed Checkered Past.
Yeah.
Steve Jones, Clem Burke, Nigel Harrison, and Tony Sales.
Wow.
Yeah, we did. You know, I love the Pistols. In fact, when Detective was happening and the Pistols played in San Francisco, I went up there, and it was the last show, you know, and we were both in the same hotel. And I met Steve, who has remained my dearest friend to this day. I spoke to him yesterday, and he's coming down the hallway, and the gig is over. I mean, in every way, the Pistols, as you know, dissolved that night. And he's coming down the hallway with Cookie, Paul Cook, the drummer, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Yeah, I stole the Silverhead album." I said, "Oh shit, you're living up to your your fabulous criminal identity." And we became, you know, really good friends. And I adore him. I consider him one of the greatest guitar players ever. And I had the great, you know, it was a gift to have Clem Burke on drums. Burke.
Yeah.
The best, man.
And Nigel from Blondie, that rhythm section, incredible.
What
and
a
Tony
band.
Sales, who is, you know, physically gorgeous, incredible guitar player, you know, and Jonesy. And we had such a great time playing live. The album was difficult because we got a producer who was more interested in that 80s groove with hard rock, and it was a bit too bouncy for us, but that's what happened. And we had one album and a lot of fun. You know?
Wow.
Well, at least you had that, right?
Always.
Yeah. So I was really excited to find out that an 80s song that I love and actually sang myself back when it came out was the song that you co-wrote with Holly Knight in 1983, Obsession, which Animotion wound up redoing. And that's the version, of course, that I heard.
Yeah, they did an incredible job with it, Animotion, and I'm very grateful to them as number one all over the world. And that was 1985 when I joined the Power Station that year. And we did Obsession live with John and Andy Taylor and Tony Thompson. And, you know, it was just an amazing vibe that year. That song was so, and I wrote it about drugs initially, about getting clean and sober.
But yet people think it's about something completely different.
Well, I wrote it about romanticism and a relationship, but really it was my romanticism and my relationship with cocaine.
Mm.
You are an obsession. I cannot sleep. I am a possession, unopened at your feet. There is no balance, no equality. Be still. I will not accept defeat.
I will have you. Yes, I will have you. I will find a way, and I will have you like a butterfly. Oh, wild butterfly. I will collect you and capture you. You are an obsession. You're my obsession. Who do you want me to be to make you sleep with me? You are an obsession. You're my obsession. Who do you want me to be to make you sleep with me?
My fantasy has turned to madness, and all my goodness has turned to badness. My need to possess you has consumed my soul. My life is trembling, I have no control.
I will have you. Yes, I will have you. I will find a way, and I will have you like a butterfly, a wild butterfly. I will collect you and capture you. You are an obsession. You're my obsession. Who do you want me to be to make you sleep with me? You are an obsession. You're my obsession. Who do you want me to be to make you sleep with me? You are an obsession. You're my obsession. You are an obsession. You're my obsession. You are an obsession. You're my obsession. You are an obsession.
And I say that absolutely because I want people to know that you do not have to be stuck in this dreadful jail, this ugly jail cell forever. You do not have to do that. You can get off it. You can. And be your metaphysical self, your true, beautiful self, you know. And I've enjoyed my life so much from that moment on because I didn't judge myself. I didn't say, well, you know, that didn't happen and this band didn't happen and this and that and there. It's got nothing to do with it. Whatever you do, do it well. And that's all it is.
Absolutely. So how exciting was it? So I know in I believe it was 1985 when you replaced Robert Palmer in the Power Station, and you got to play Live Aid. Yeah,
I mean, to replace Robert Palmer would be impossible because, you know, and this is just, you know, verbal sort of vibe, but, you know, Robert Palmer, I knew 10 years before I did the Power Station, and I was a huge fan of his in the clubs when he was like, you know, England's Marvin Gaye. I mean, he was an astonishing writer and singer. But what happened was he didn't want to play in front of 20,000, 30,000 screaming teenagers. I, of course, did. I wanted to just
I wonder why. No, but I mean, that must have been such a rush. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't somebody want to, you know?
Well, because you've got 3 days to learn 30 songs and you're doing Live Aid. That's why. You know?
Oh, wow.
I mean, you know, I had 3 days rehearsals before we did Live Aid.
Really? So you did I thought maybe each band only did a few. So how many songs did you have to do at Live Aid?
Well, on tour for 6 months, 32 songs.
Wow.
And in the Live Aid, we had 3 songs. And one of them we couldn't do because Andy's amp blew up and Bill Graham nearly killed Andy.
Oh, no.
God bless Bill Graham. You know all about Bill Graham, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, Andy's not somebody to mess around with. God rest his soul. I love him. He's such a beautiful guy. But we kicked ass, and the tour was incredible. I mean, I would go out there the first couple of shows and like the Red Sea parting, everybody would go over to Andy's side and John's side, and I'd be in the middle looking at nothing. Those kids were going crazy for John and Andy, but after a while, they became used to it, and I had a lot of fun with those boys.
Oh, wow. So after, the whole thing with the power station, is that when you got back more into acting again rather than music?
Well, I got Murdoch, and this guy I played on MacGyver for the next few years, and
The
that was
villain,
very
his arch
popular.
nemesis, right?
Yeah, it was a very popular show, and it was very sort of financially rewarding. And I thought, well, why didn't I do this? I mean, how am I going to top the power station thing? I mean, that was such a massive experience. And I thought, well, Henry Winkler, love Henry Winkler. I drove on the set at Paramount, and there he was. They were all outside smoking cigarettes, and I was in like a black leather outfit, and I got out of this car, and I think I got the job right there.
Wow.
I don't think I really needed to audition, but it was sort of a very serious, dark.
You had the look.
Yeah, I had the look, and it's all about a look. It's all about how high are your cheekbones. It's that's all it's about. That's what Hollywood is. It's like you should get the highest cheekbone award. I mean, that's what I think of fucking awards.
So you have played acting, done acting on so many TV shows that a lot of people would recognize that they didn't even know. And like I said, now I want to go back and look at all these shows and trying to find the episodes that you were in, like Melrose Place, which I always watched, and Seinfeld, Roseanne. I did see the one picture you played the doctor. I guess you delivered the baby because I saw a picture with Roseanne and her daughter, Sarah Gilbert. Who played her daughter.
I also played on Roseanne's show. I also played Martin Mull's lover.
Oh, okay.
And this was a very big step for me because my agents and everybody said, Michael, don't play a gay guy. Okay, don't do that. And I thought, fuck off. How dare you, tell me what to play. It's not your job to tell me what to play.
Right.
And I thought it would be very, very interesting to do that. I am not homosexual, but I stand up for everybody's sexuality, whoever you are, whatever it is. And I wanted to make a statement. And we did 6 episodes, I think, with Roseanne, who also was very much, she was not what she is today, let's put it that way. At that time, she was very, very careful about her stance on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
And, I got asked to speak at gay rallies. And I said, guys, I'm not gay. I'm gay bar, not gay bar. You know what I mean? And it was an amazing, amazing line, to play that character. One of the most important roles I've played.
Okay. And you also did a couple stints on WKRP in Cincinnati as well, right?
Oh, my God. Yeah, of course. Scum of the Earth. Don't you know about that?
No, I don't. I have to check that out.
You don't watch TV, huh?
I did watch some that years ago, but
well,
now I got to go watch all this stuff.
Yeah, we played a band called Scum of the Earth. And we all came on dressed in suits and ties, because in the beginning they wanted to have like the dog thing around your neck and ripped Vivienne Westwood shirts, and I said put them in suits because we destroyed everything. It was the gag was that we spoke very sort of upper class, but we were just awful, throwing people out of the window at the hotel. That was the gag. Mm-hmm. And it went down. It's top 3 of the 5-6 years it was on the air.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So now on some of your other films, you were in Ghoulies, Night Flyers, Pink Cadillac, The Man of Elysian Fields. I think I saw that. What
Jagger
was that about?
In it. Mick Jagger and Juliana Margulies, James Coburn. It was a hell of a cast. It was a hell of a
I'm going to look at that again. I know I saw it. It's been, but
I played a gigolo, and Mick played the boss of the gigolo thing.
Oh, really?
And,
okay.
And Juliana was my, shall we say, partner. It was a brilliant, great movie. My favorite role was playing that guy.
So then you wound up just not too many years ago, in 2018 and 2019, you went back to MacGyver. You returned back and their reboot, and you played another master assassin, Nicholas Hellman, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was ludicrous for me to say no to something that was. I was very richly rewarded for that.
Yeah.
But it's and I enjoyed it very much. And in the second episode, and David Desmalchian, who has become really a movie star, and he was playing the Murdoch in the second go round of MacGyver, and I was playing his.
Wow.
I didn't know who the fuck I was playing. I mean, I was just in that episode. Mm-hmm. 2 episodes, I think.
Okay. So backtracking a little bit, because I didn't know what year you'd started this, and so I look back. You are a DJ with Stevie Van Zant's Underground Garage on Sirius XM, but you started that back in 2014?
I've been at it 9 years every day for 3 hours, Monday through Friday, and I've enjoyed it so much. And it happened, strangely, I was on the internet with an interview program, and I was interviewing Marianne Williamson, who's running for president, who I admire enormously. And Maureen Van Zandt saw that interview with Marianne Williamson. And Andrew Lou Golden was the morning DJ at Little Steven's Underground Garage, who, by the way, had 5 million listeners now.
Oh, wow.
Maureen said, get him. And I auditioned for it for a couple of weeks. And Stevie said, yeah, great. And then he became my mentor and is one of the most exquisite, brilliant people I've ever met in my life. And I'm proud to be part of his Underground Garage.
Yeah, I saw that you were just in New York with him, and also with Bruce Springsteen at the concert.
Yes, it was in New Jersey. So Bruce
was in
Springsteen,
New Jersey? Okay.
In New Jersey, but I only say that because that's where he's from. So therefore, the audience, it was a very important show for Bruce and for Stephen, And then the next night, Stevie was honored by Bruce. Bruce has started this American Music Honors, the archives of Bruce Springsteen. And he's now giving out, like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he chose 4 people after we saw Springsteen play. That was Stevie Van Zandt, Darlene Love, Sam Cooke of Sam and Dave, and the great singer-writer Steve Earle.
Wow.
And that was a hell of a moment. Stevie is very much involved in teachrock.org, which is teaching kids the joy of music, And that's all he talked about. He didn't talk about himself at all, which is the kind of guy he is. An amazing man.
I got to bring up something. When I first heard, I heard Little Steven when he first started, Michael, and I heard it on radio, and I said to myself, he was playing songs that nobody ever heard before.
That's right.
From European groups. And I said, the head trip that he had was so phenomenal. I just followed him the rest of my life. He has about 45 book, by the way, but he has an amazing head trip. I'm so glad you're on his umbrella.
Me too. Otherwise, I'd be dripping wet, but which is not a bad thing. But, the vibe of Stevie is 5,000 songs in the playlist, right? So he's playing Benny King, he's playing Muddy Waters, he's playing Howlin' Wolf, he's playing Billy Tibbles, who is in LA, 23 years old, glam rock, here we go again. I mean, his choices are historic.
Phenomenal.
Magic. If you're listening to Otis Redding, and then suddenly you hear Zeppelin, and then suddenly you hear Humble Pie, and then suddenly you hear the Yardbirds or Chrissy Hynde or Patti Smith. It goes on and on and on. Fortunately, I have a librarian mind, and I remember all of the history that I personally had in the 60s in London and in New York and in LA. And therefore, I add a certain history to this magical station.
What hit me about him was that he would bring on these groups that nobody ever heard of.
Yeah.
The names. That's what really got me also, Michael. Yeah. It's like, he was such a tasteful person.
Yeah.
the music he brought on, and that's why my ear went to him automatically. Mike.
No, we're very aware of you, Spencer, because you do the same thing with Lou and so on and so forth. And it's wonderful what you do, Lou Reed, of course.
You.
And we play the Velvets a lot. We play Lou a lot,
Oh, yeah.
We play the Dolls, and it's so interesting with the Dolls and Velvet Underground in that they never sold records, and yet they influenced so many bands. So therefore, Stevie is not thinking about sales or hits. He's talking about art. He's talking about the art of rock and roll music and classicism.
Wow.
And it's as important as any form of music, any genre.
You do the same thing, so you guys are together, You do the
same thing. I mean, when he asked me to do that, I said, you bet, I know how to do that. And it just gets better and better and more. I get more out of it every day, not with drugs, but with the beauty of the music.
Yeah, little Steven, he also too did an acting thing with The Sopranos, and also his own show, Lilyhammer. I used to watch.
It was an acting thing, indeed. Yeah. It's the biggest show of all time. That'd be an acting thing. Yeah. Sylvia Dante and and Lilyhammer, terrific.
That was a great show, Lilyhammer.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Allegedly, playing Silvio in Norway, right? And, just an amazing actor.
He's like so great for that part. That and The Sopranos.
And his book. I don't know if you guys have ever read his book.
No, I did not.
No, I haven't.
It's called Unrequited Infatuations.
Wow.
He's a philosophical guy, and it's an extraordinary book. When he did Sun City, you remember that song, Sun City, and he got all these books, and it really hurt his career. Because he took a political stance, and at that time, that was enough to cancel you. And I believe that that's what happened.
Yeah,
he's worked so hard and made so many great records that he's beyond critique at this point.
Wow. What is the doc film, Michael? 2021. Who do you want me to be? What is that about?
My documentary.
Talk about it.
Well, it's my life, and it's the biggest of 2020. It was the #1 rockumentary. It'll astound you. The people in it are Gabriel Byrne, Don Johnson, Steve Jones, Ed Begley, Miss Pamela, some extraordinary people talking about my life and what happened to me in England, and how all of the different things that went down in my life. It's a really interesting story.
It is. It's a great documentary. I just saw it on Amazon Prime.
Oh, I'm so glad you saw it. I'm so glad.
Yeah, very great. It was great.
It's an honest, funny look at a guy's career who managed to stay sane in the mad world of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Great film, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
3-chord movie.
Absolutely, because you're friends with Don Johnson, and I saw also
Jonesy. Don Johnson has been a really iconic figure for the public, and certainly for me. I met him in 1972 in London. We were teenagers, and we got up to some extraordinary pranks. Would be the best way to explain.
I saw a picture with Melanie Griffith too. I saw a picture of you with Melanie Griffith.
That was the mother of 2 of his children died.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Melanie has remained a great friend. She was in one of my videos, one of my solo albums. Just a brilliant actress. I think the greatest actress of a generation is Melanie.
Wow.
She is a great actress.
And Don and Melanie, Pamela and I were at the wedding. I think it was in Denver. I don't remember. But there we were together. And I just remember the sun going down and looking at these 2 humans. And they were the sexiest, most beautiful, intellectual, metaphysical doll faces I'd ever seen. Just so gorgeous and so funny and so down to earth,
Wow.
And that was very beautiful. I loved it.
I wanted to bring up something, Michael. You're a very big vinyl freak. I have your T-shirt on that says, I need vinyl, which I love. But besides that, you were a keynote speaker at the Making Vinyl event, which me and Judith are part of in 2019 in LA.
Yes, I was.
We judge the packaging awards every year, and it's one of my heart things about vinyl. Tell us about your interest in vinyl. I know you're a big vinyl fan.
I am a collector. The thing about the vinyl vibe is my childhood. Music, rock and roll music, especially in the blues, if it doesn't have cracks in the, on that vinyl, I'm not, I like that. I don't want to hear it perfect. I want to hear it as it was done in a studio on vinyl.
Right.
And because of the romance, because of the sheer art of a turntable, of dropping the needle in that groove, that to me is a magic moment. This is Merlin. This is a wizard. This is absolutely, and to just put on your headphones or shove these two white things in your ear, and what the fuck? I mean, I want to feel it. I want to feel them. I want to hold it. I want to put it in the turn, drop that needle in that track, and dig it, and scratch it, and have them. I have thousands of CD vinyl, and so a few CDs, but vinyl to me is a precious thing simply because of its history.
Yeah, and I was raised on vinyl. Judith and I designed so many great artists on vinyl, and it's the sound. People ask me, and I say it's the sound.
Yes, the tone. You should read a book called "Raised on Vinyl." It's a great title because it suggests the whole notion of the 40s, the 50s.
That's a great title.
Yeah, it is. And you go back to the 30s, and you've got, Charlie Patton and all these blues guitar players just crackling away on vinyl. Now, I'd rather watch that than a perfect rendition of the blues. The blues was everything to me, as it was to my generation in London at the time.
Yeah, same with me. Blues was big time.
Yeah, of course. Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters.
Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah, and you know what? Howlin' Wolf, dig this. This is an important thing. Yeah. Howlin' Wolf gave his band members medical insurance.
Wow.
In the 40s and 50s. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
At that time when they weren't even allowed into white hotels.
God. Oh my God.
And he's paying his band medical insurance? I mean, think about it. It's a very symbolic thing in terms of the history of the blues that he did that. Chester Burnett, a.k.a. Howlin' Wolf, paid his band, made sure that they were healthy.
I did.
It was a war, and still is.
I did a photo promotion for John Lee Hooker for a number of years.
Yes, you did.
And he was amazing. I mean, John Lee Hooker was like, you know what it was like, Michael. I mean,
I knew his daughter. We were doing Don's show in San Francisco. What was that called? Nash Bridges. And John Lee Hooker's daughter was one of the extras.
Oh, wow.
I said, I got to meet your father. And I did. And he was just filled with sexuality and sensuality. Everything was a joke to him. And inevitably ended up with a sexy sort of climax, if you'll pardon the expression. But John Lee Hooker, boom, 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 baby, simple.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
So, Michael, tell me about your band. Now, you have the Michael DeBar Band, and you're signed to Little Stevie's label, right? Wicked Cool Records.
Yeah. Wicked Cool Records. I put out a single every now and then, and I've just recorded an album that I really don't want to, describe yet because I'm so excited about it. I know everybody says, "Oh, I'm so excited about my new book." I'm sick to death of hearing people that are excited, but I genuinely have made a record that I think is pretty cool, and it'll be out in October.
Maybe will you do any touring? Will you do any
touring? Yes, absolutely. There's nothing like it.
Will you come to New York?
I'll come to your house.
Okay.
I will do a show in your living room or wherever.
Yeah, we should definitely get something together, and Michael's going to do that.
I'm going to give Michael some promotion here. I've got the Michael DeBar's T-shirt on.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Just go to my website, michaeldebar.com. There it is.
That's right.
There's lots of things there, lots of little bits and pieces and T-shirts and coffee mugs and, and a couple of cars. and a guitar.
Yeah.
So michaeldemar.com. Yeah.
Now, do you have Michael, show your nails. Do you have you should have your own line of blue nail polish?
Ooh.
Well, yeah, I wear blue because it's the color of my eyes. See my eyes?
There you go.
Yeah.
See? So, of course, your listeners can't see that. But yeah, listen, I want to have fun in this world. I want to enjoy every single second of it. And somehow that has happened, after all these years. It's been 60 odd years, and they've been odd, that I've, been in the movies and telly and writing songs and, jumping up and down on that stage. And I'm proud of that. I started when I was 15, 16, and I'm 75 years old, and I have a 28-inch waist.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Amazing.
You haven't gained an ounce since you were younger, I guess,
Yeah. I just worked out every day,
I do see the pictures of you working out. Yes, I do, on Facebook.
Yeah. I work out and I encourage that. It's not egoic at all. I think that the one's lifestyle, if you're not getting out there and walking and, at least walking, because walking is really good.
Right.
Yeah.
It really is good. You can just pace yourself. Your back, it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
Don't ever say to yourself, there are certain things I cannot do. Because you will replace those certain things you can't do with something that you can do.
Yeah.
Never think in the negative. Think always in the positive, because this might sound like some wizard telling you what to do. I'm not.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm just getting back to doing the things that I love to do, and this is one of them.
Well, God bless you. You're wonderful at it, and write a book.
Well, actually, I have a couple books. One that
Write another book.
I know. I didn't put them out yet, but I'm going to.
The most important thing to think about here is, why would you even go into that place of things I can't do? What are those things? Running, walking, dancing? You can replace, like they replaced your shoulder. You can replace your soul anytime you want to do it.
Yeah,
that's true. And I like what you said, Michael, about thinking positive. I have a shoulder problem too, not as serious, but I've got to go through therapy, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And the words that you said are so intense about think positive. I really agree with that myself, but that's a big change. It's just mindset, right?
It is. The other thing to remember is the other great word that changed my life was acceptance. You have to accept that you're getting older, and you understand what is going on, and you accept it, and you live with it, and you breathe with it, because it is real. You're not going to be 19 again.
Exactly.
Today is a new day, and if that means that you kind of get out of bed a little slower, so what? You're still alive,
right?
Breathing. You're
still able to do what I want to do. Like I said, I'm getting back. The magazine issue's coming out, and you are on the front cover of the issue.
Hey.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, you are. You were my feature story in our ninth anniversary, the same year that you started with Little Steven's Underground Garage. My magazine started. And Spence will tell you, Spence has been in Steel Notes magazine.
I'm going to say that Alexxis has a great rock magazine. She interviewed me and Judith several years ago. A great article with pictures, and it's a great thing.
It's fantastic.
Great thing. Yeah,
that is. I'm honored to be part of you, because you are iconic in terms of radio.
Thank you.
I'm very, very happy to be with you here.
Thank you. I'm pleased that you could join me. And like I said, you're on the front cover. You're my feature story, and it'll be coming out within hopefully in the next few days. Excellent. And I will definitely send you, the link to it and everything. So.
Oh, well, yeah. And I will talk about you on the radio.
Thank
you. We can do each other a favor. But you know what? It is wonderful to be able to speak with you. I don't really do it too much, because I just say, to my peeps, I go, send them the documentary. That's all you got to do. But I would love you to watch it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I just watched it. Yes, I did.
Oh, wow.
Michael, I'm going to interview you on our show, and we had the honor of having 3 of our interviews in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame archives recently, which is
my God. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have you on with Alexis and I. We're going to double header with
There you
Michael.
go.
Wow, that's
Well,
my kind
I
of
think
head.
that we should plan something, Spence, because
Yeah.
Steelance Magazine and Steel Waves Radio and my show wants to come to New York. So we'll bring Michael. We'll bring
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming to New York in June.
Okay.
Wow.
I think we're going in June. There's something I got to do there. I don't remember what.
Okay.
But,
Well, let us know what's
Yeah.
going and we can all hook up.
Yeah, I'd love that. Are you kidding? Absolutely.
All right. Great.
Yeah, like Alexis is trying to get a venue, a really cool venue right now, right, Alexis? So that would
In
be
New
a good
York,
thing.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful. I'd love that. Absolutely. I'd love New York. I mean, I was just there. It was incredible. And it was so beautiful. The weather, do you recall?
Right. Yeah. Oh, no, I was
So beautiful.
following you on Facebook of what you were saying while you were in New York and Jersey and,
Yeah, it was, God, it was a real whirlwind, and Stevie, he said, hey, Michael, you want to come to New York and hang out with us?
you have to bring Stevie along with you. They'll really have a good time.
Well, he's probably be in Rome, so they're in Europe now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what happened? They played Barcelona the first night, and who got on stage with them? Michelle Obama.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Wow.
Michelle
Incredible. What?
Obama got up and
Oh my
her
God.
husband was in the wings,
Oh my
Wow,
God.
nice.
Michelle
That's
gets up
incredible.
into singing together. I mean, that is the coolest thing ever.
That's incredible. That's
and,
incredible.
Very cool.
and so they're in Europe, rocking and rolling. Stevie
Wow.
playing guitar like you wouldn't believe, And the band is wonderful. All of them, incredible
Yeah.
musicians.
Yes.
In fact, I leave you with this thought. The singers in the background, Curtis Armstrong, was our backup singer with the Power Station. And I hadn't
Oh
seen him
God.
in decades. And there he was, looked exactly the same.
Oh
And
my God.
I
Wow.
said, Curtis, remember me? He said, who could forget you, MDP? And we held each other and realized that we're so lucky. And I'm
Wow.
so lucky to be with you and talk to you about my mad life.
Oh, thank you.
Wonderful, Michael.
God bless you.
And that's a wonderful, wonderful life. Well, thank you so much for being on the show tonight, Michael. Like I said, I hope we can hook something up with me, you, and Spencer coming up when you come to New York. And hopefully we'll get to do it again. We'll encourage everybody, if you have Amazon Prime, a lot of people do, is to watch his documentary, Who Do You Want Me to Be, right? By Michael
Yep,
DeVar.
they'll find out. They'll find out.
Yeah, they'll find out. Exactly. But it's been splendid. And I'm going to go back and watch, all these episodes with you and Roseanne and all these different TV shows that I watched back in the day, but never knew that you were on it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because that phenomenon, these shows from the 80s and the 70s, Heart to Heart, the Rockford Files, I've done them all.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And they're still out there. So when I go out into the world to go, hey, you're the guy with James Garner who's now dead,
Yeah.
and yet these things live forever, these shows.
Oh, absolutely. That's
It's
a great thing
astonishing.
about it.
And
They play them on Me TV and all that stuff.
Reruns. And you
shows.
can imagine why.
Michael, they run shows now. I mean, Heart to Heart's big time on TV right now, right?
Yeah.
Heart to Heart and all the shows, MacGyver.
Yeah. I played a rock star in Heart to Heart with Stephanie Powers. She was so, and it is, I'm sure, gorgeous,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing. I mean, these people were wonderful, because it was years ago, therefore they had a certain sort of stardom that isn't really there now,
Absolutely.
But much love to you all, and I will see you
love
in New
to you
York.
too, Michael. And I will be
See
in
you
touch.
in New York, Michael.
Peace and love.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Take care, Brave.
You too. God bless
Rock
you.
and roll, Michael. Rock and roll.
Murdoch. That's impossible.
Name one contract that I failed to execute.
MacGyver.
MacGyver has been a detriment to our international operations for years.
Murdoch is an international terrorist, specializes in disguises.
What kind of game are you playing, Murdoch? Would you care to join me? And you know Murdoch will use anyone to get to me.
Going all to pieces, MacGyver.
You want MacGyver's head?
You can have it.
Now, why can't you accept it?
Because every time I think Murdoch is dead, he comes back.
Welcome back, Murdoch. Your talents have been missed.
You didn't really think that I would retire, did you, MacGyver?
If it is Murdoch, who is he working for?
I've anticipated everything MacGyver's creative little mind could come up with.
Blew it again, huh, Murdoch?
Now I can hunt you with a clear conscience, MacGyver, but
No way a fella could have survived a fall like that.
You don't know Murdoch.
I need your help.
You're not serious.
It's me you want! Peter Thorne. It's been a long time. You don't know Murdoch!
Always skittering in and out of the darkness, while even cockroaches can be stopped.
No! So long, MacGyver. Rest in pieces. You're a target, and I don't intend to miss. It's showtime, MacGyver!
You're listening to Music 101 with your host, Alexxis Steele. Sponsored by Steel Notes Magazine. You can find them at the web, folks, at www.steelnotesmagazine.com.